Hi, everyone. It's a true pleasure to stand before you today as we explore a topic that might seem unconventional but holds great power in our personal lives. We often hear the phrase, speak when you're spoken, or think before you speak. But what if I told you that sometimes the most profound moments in life are those we choose to keep to ourselves? Today we are diving into the topic, keep your mouth shut whenever you are happy. This might sound odd at first, but I assure you there's a deep wisdom in understanding the value of silent joy. So I invite you to open your hearts and minds as we discuss how the act of guarding our happiness can lead to more meaningful and fulfilling lives. Let's reflect together on the true essence of joy and how its preservation can create lasting fulfillment and respect. Life often teaches us lessons in the most subtle ways. One of the greatest lessons you can learn is the value of silence, especially when you're happy. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, where every thought, everything, motion, every moment is broadcast to the world, it is revolutionary to hold something back. It may feel counterintuitive at first. After all, joy is meant to be shared, isn't it? And happiness is a light we want to spread to others. But let me tell you this, there is wisdom, strength, and protection in keeping your mouth shut when joy fills your heart. Happiness is a delicate, beautiful thing. It's like a fragile glass ornament. When you hold it too tightly or show it too often, it risks breaking. Not everyone who sees your happiness will celebrate it. Some will envy it, some will misunderstand it, and others may even try to take it away from you. That's the harsh reality of life. People carry their insecurities, their own struggles, and their own doubts. When they see your joy, it can sometimes feel like a reminder of what they lack. It's not always malice or ill intent. Sometimes it's just human nature. But your happiness is not something you should ever risk for the sake of validation or applause. When you keep your joy private, you protect it. Think of happiness as a fire within you. That fire is your fuel, your energy, your drive. If you expose it to the winds of the outside world too soon, it can be extinguished. Protecting your happiness doesn't mean you're selfish or secretive. It means you understand its worth. You don't need the world to know about every victory or every moment of bliss. What matters is what matters is that you feel it deeply and allow it to grow within you, untouched by the opinions or reactions of others. Too often we mistake sharing for connection. We believe that by telling the world about our joys, we'll somehow make them stronger or more meaningful. Our real connection doesn't come from boasting or announcing. It comes from sharing moments with the right people at the right time in the right way. And sometimes the right person is just you. Sometimes the most profound connection is the one you have with yourself, sitting quietly in your happiness, savoring it like a secret treasure. Happiness also thrives in humility. When you're happy, it's easy to feel invincible, to think that nothing can touch you. But life has a way of humbling even the strongest of us. When you keep your joy to yourself, you remain grounded. Or you remind yourself that happiness is a gift, not something to flaunt. You acknowledge that life is a balance of highs and lows, and that this moment of happiness is something to cherish, not to take for granted. Humility keeps you in touch with gratitude. And gratitude, my friends, is the foundation of lasting joy. Another reason to hold on to your happiness privately is to maintain meaning. Imagine planting a garden. You've worked hard tending to the soil, and now your flowers are blooming. Instead of enjoying the beauty of your garden, you run to tell everyone about it. In your absence, the weeds start creeping in. You see, the act of sharing takes time and energy times clear to be spent nurturing and protecting your happiness. When you keep your joy private, you stay focused on what matters most, preserving and cultivating it. So moreover, not all victories need a spotlight. Sometimes the greatest joys are found in the smallest, most private moments. A quiet morning with a cup of coffee. The satisfaction of completing a task you once thought impossible. The laughter of someone you love. These moments don't need an audience. They don't need likes, comments, or applause. Their value lies in their intimacy, in the way they resonate deeply within your soul. When you learn to find fulfillment in these quiet moments, you discover a new kind of happiness, one that is unshakable because it doesn't depend on external validation. And there's also power in mystery. When you keep your happiness to yourself, you maintain an aura of mystery and strength. People don't need to know everything about you. They don't need to see every move you make or every thought you have. When you keep some things private, you hold on to your power. You show the world that your happiness is not for sale, that it's not something to be dissected or judged. This mystery creates respect. It tells people that you are in the control of your life, your emotions, and your choices. Now, this doesn't mean you should shut yourself off from the world or refuse to share your life with others. It simply means being intentional about what you share and with whom. Share your happiness with people who will truly celebrate it with you, people who be part of your joy. And these are the people who will lift you up, who will protect your happiness as if it were their own. These are the people who will remind you of your worth when you forget it, who will stand by you not only in your moments of joy, but also in your times of sorrow. Keeping your happiness private also builds resilience. Life is unpredictable. One moment you're on top of the world, and next you're faced with challenges you never saw coming. When your happiness is private, it's yours alone. It's not tied to anyone else's expectations or opinions. This makes it easier to bounce back when things go wrong because your sense of self-worth isn't dependent on how others perceive you. You've built a foundation of joy that is strong, secure, and self-sustaining. In the end, keeping your mouth shut when you're happy isn't about secrecy, it's about self-respect. It's about recognizing that your joy is precious and that not everyone is entitled to it. It's about knowing that your happiness doesn't need to be validated by the outside world to be real or meaningful. It's about protecting your peace, staying grounded, and focusing on what truly matters. So the next time you feel the urge to shout your happiness from the rooftops, pause, take a deep breath, hold that joy close to your heart and let it fill you up from the inside out. Smile to yourself, savor the moment, and remember the greatest treasures are the ones you keep safe. May your happiness be one of them. In doing so, you'll find a deeper, more lasting joy, one that no one can take away from you. Happiness is fragile. Happiness is one of the most beautiful yet fragile emotions we experience. It's not something solid or permanent. It can be fleeting and easily affected by the world around us. When we experience joy, it often feels like a delicate moment, one that we want to hold on to forever. However, sharing it too freely or exposing it to those who may not understand or appreciate it can leave it vulnerable. Much like a flower that thrives when protected from harsh winds, happiness needs care and caution to truly flourish. When you share your happiness openly, you invite others into your personal space. While some may celebrate with you, others may bring negativity, jealousy, or even doubt. Their reactions can diminish the purity of your joy, making it feel less genuine or less valuable. And this isn't always intentional, but the reality is that not everyone is equipped to respond to your happiness with positivity. Protecting your joy means safeguarding it from such influences, ensuring it remains whole and untainted. Furthermore, happiness isn't just about external events or achievements, it's deeply tied to your inner peace and mindset. When you allow too many external factors or opinions to affect it, you risk losing the serenity that comes with truly feeling happy. A fragile state of happiness can easily be disrupted by criticism, comparison, or the unintended consequences of oversharing. By keeping it private, you give it time to grow stronger within you, building resilience that can withstand external challenges. Ultimately, the fragility of happiness is not a weakness, but a reminder of its preciousness. Just as we protect valuable possessions from damage, we must also protect our joy. It's not about hiding your emotions, but about valuing them enough to shield them from anything that might diminish their birbash. When you treat happiness with care and respect, it becomes a source of strength, capable of sustaining you through life's highs and lows. Not everyone will celebrate your joy. Not everyone will celebrate your joy. And that's a reality we must accept. While happiness is a positive and uplifting emotion, it doesn't always evoke the same response in others. People's reactions are shaped by their own experiences, struggles, and insecurities. When they see you happy, it can serve as a reminder of what they feel they lack or wish they had. This doesn't always stem from malice. Often it's a reflection of their own inner battles. However, their inability to celebrate joy can surely affect you, leaving you feeling misunderstood or even disheartened. Sometimes those closest to you may not react to your happiness as you expect. They might seem indifferent or even dismissive, not because they don't care, but because they're dealing with their own challenges. For others, envy can creep in, turning what should be a moment of shared celebration into an uncomfortable experience. This doesn't mean you should stop seeking connection or sharing your emotions, but it does mean being mindful of who you share your joy with and understanding the limitations of people's reactions. Additionally, broadcasting your happiness to everyone can invite unwanted scrutiny or criticism. And some people might downplay your achievements or question your success, not out of genuine concern, but as a way of projecting their doubts or insecurities onto you. This can chip away at the excitement and pride you feel, making your joy feel less pure. Protecting your happiness means shielding it from those who cannot or will not respond with the positivity it deserves. By recognizing that not everyone will celebrate joy, you gain the freedom to choose where to place your energy and trust. You learn to treasure your happiness without needing external validation or approval. This understanding allows you to surround yourself with people who truly uplift you and to hold on to your joy with quiet confidence, knowing it doesn't need to be shared with the world to be real or meaningful. Happiness is your personal fire. Happiness is like a personal fire that burns within you, providing warmth, energy, and light to your life. This fire is unique to you, fueled by your passions, achievements, relationships, and moments of joy. It's a source of strength that drives you forward, illuminating your path even in challenging times. However, like any fire, it is vulnerable to external elements. If exposed too soon or too often, it can be extinguished by the winds of negativity, envy, or misunderstanding from the outside world. Protecting this fire is essential to keeping it alive and vibrant. When you share your happiness openly and indiscriminately, you risk letting others influence its intensity. Some people may unintentionally throw water on your fire with dismissive comments, doubts, or comparisons. Others may even do so intentionally out of jealousy or insecurity. This interference can diminish the warmth and brightness of your happiness, leaving you questioning the joy you initially felt. By keeping your happiness private, you're shielded from these external forces, allowing it to burn steadily and undisturbed. Your personal fire is also what sustains you during difficult times. It provides the inner motivation and resilience to push through challenges and keep going. And if you let too many people have access to it, you may find it harder to maintain its strength. When you preserve your happiness for yourself, it becomes a more reliable source of energy, one that isn't dependent on external validation or approval. This self-reliance allows your fire to grow, becoming a beacon of strength that can't be easily snuffed out. Protecting your happiness as your personal fire is not about selfishness or secrecy. It's about recognizing its value and treating it with care. When you guard this fire and you give it the space and fuel to thrive, it becomes a constant, unshakable force in your life, empowering you to navigate both the joys and the hardships with a sense of inner peace and purpose. By keeping it private and nurturing it with intention, you ensure that your fire burns brighter and longer, lighting up not just your path, but also inspiring those who truly matter. True connection requires intentional sharing. True connection is not about sharing everything with everyone. It's about being intentional with whom and how it would share your life. In a world of constant communication and oversharing, the depth of genuine connection often gets lost in the noise. People crave meaningful relationships, but that meaning isn't created by broadcasting every thought or emotion. It's built when you choose to share your joys, struggles, and triumphs with people who truly value and understand them. This kind of intentional sharing creates bonds that are rooted in trust, authenticity, and mutual respect. When you share something personal, especially your happiness, you make yourself vulnerable. Not everyone who listens has your best interests at heart, and some may misunderstand or trivialize what you hold dear. Intentional sharing means being selective about the people you allow into your emotional space. These are the people who have proven through their actions and care that they are worthy of your trust. With them, your happiness is safe, appreciated, and often magnified because they genuinely celebrate it with you. Intentional sharing also ensures that your energy and emotions are used wisely. When you share indiscriminately, you risk diluting the urge of your experiences and exhausting yourself emotionally. In contrast, choosing the right moments and the right people to confide in allows you to focus on the quality of your relationships rather than the quantity. It's not about withholding your emotions, but about protecting their value and ensuring they're met with the appreciation and understanding they deserve. By embracing intentional sharing, you strengthen the connections that truly matter while protecting your inner peace. You no longer feel the need to overshare to seek approval or validation from others. Instead, you build relationships based on mutual support and understanding. True connection isn't about how many people know your story. It's about how deeply a few people truly understand and cherish it. Happiness thrives in humility. Happiness flourishes when it is nurtured with humility. When you experience joy, it's tempting to announce it to the world, seeking validation or recognition. However, humility reminds us that happiness doesn't need to be allowed to be meaningful. By grounding your joy in gratitude rather than pride, you create a sense of inner peace that sustains it. Humility allows happiness to grow quietly without being overshadowed by the need for external attention or your. When happiness is expressed with humility, it remains authentic and pure. Humility keeps you mindful of the fleeting nature of joy, encouraging you to savor the moment instead of flaunting it. It shifts your focus inward, helping you recognize the deeper reasons for your happiness, such as personal growth, meaningful relationships, or gratitude for life's blessings. This inward reflection strengthens your connection to your joy, making it less vulnerable to external factors like criticism or comparison. On the other hand, when happiness is tied to arrogance or the need to prove something, it becomes fragile and dependent on others' perceptions. Pride can distort joy, turning it into a tool for competition or validation. This approach not only risks alienating others, but also weakens your sense of fulfillment. Humility, however, keeps you grounded and ensures that your happiness comes from a place of authenticity rather than ego. It allows you to celebrate your wins quietly and focus on what truly matters. Living with humility doesn't mean suppressing your happiness or hiding it. It means holding it with reverence and gratitude. It's about understanding that joy is a gift to be cherished, not a trophy to display. Humility fosters an attitude of thankfulness that deepens your happiness and makes it more resilient. When you embrace humility, your happiness becomes a source of strength, capable of enriching your life and inspiring those around you without the need for grand gestures or excessive display. The most meaningful moments are private. The most meaningful moments in life often happen in private, away with the ways of the world. These moments are deeply personal, not requiring an audience to validate their significance. Whether it's a quiet victory, a heartfelt conversation, or a moment of profound self-realization, their power lies in the intimacy of the experience. These private moments connect you to your innermost self, allowing you to savor them fully without distraction or the pressure to share them with others. When you keep meaningful moments to yourself, you'll allow them to stay pure and unaltered by outside opinions. Sharing these experiences too soon or quietly can dilute their significance, as others may not understand or appreciate them in the way you do. This can lead to disappointment or feeling that the moment's value has been diminished. By holding certain memories close to your heart, you protect their authenticity and preserve the emotional depth they carry. Privacy also enhances the intimacy of these moments, whether they're shared with a close friend, family member, or experienced alone. The quietness of a meaningful moment creates space for reflection and gratitude. It's in these private spaces that you can truly process and understand the importance of what has happened. Without the noise of external validation or judgment, you're free to fully embrace the emotions and elations these moments bring. Ultimately, the most meaningful moments don't need public recognition to matter. Their impact is felt within you, shaping your perspective, your growth, and your happiness. By keeping them private, you allow them to remain a source of quiet strength and inspiration, something you can revisit in your heart without the interference of others. In their quietness, these moments gain their true power. becoming treasures that enrich your life in the most profound ways. Mystery builds respect and power. Mystery has an undeniable power to captivate and command respect. When we keep certain aspects of our lives private, we create an aura of intrigue that draws people in. I just said something, a mystery gives others the space to wonder about us rather than knowing everything at once. It adds depth to our character, making us more interesting and in many ways more respected. People tend to respect those who don't overshare as they hold a sense of control, a sense of self-awareness that can't easily be broken. In maintaining a sense of mystery, we also preserve our power. When we reveal too much about ourselves or our plans, we risk losing our leverage. People can begin to predict our actions and the element of surprise is lost. Keeping some things to yourself ensures that you retain the upper hand, whether it's in relationships, professional settings, or personal endeavors. It builds an air of unpredictability, which can be a powerful tool in gaining respect and protecting your interests. Mystery also encourages others to approach us with caution, increasing their respect. People are more likely to treat you with regard when they can't immediately figure you out. I perceive you as someone with depth, someone who values their privacy and boundaries. This respect is not forced, but earned through the subtlety of not revealing everything all at once. It creates a dynamic where you hold control over how much you choose to share when you share it. Finally, mystery offers a sense of independence and strength. It allows us to define ourselves on our terms and at our own pace. Upholding back and choosing when to open up, we don't allow external expectations or judgments to shape us. And the mystery we cultivate in our lives enhances our personal power, fostering an environment where we are both respected and untouchable. And this quiet strength makes us more resilient, less likely to be swayed by the opinions of others, and more confident in our ability to navigate the complexities of life. Selective sharing strengthens relationships. Selective sharing is an important practice that deepens and strengthens relationships. By carefully choosing who and why share personal experience of who, thoughts, or emotions with, you create a bond based on trust and mutual understanding. Not everything needs to be shared with everyone, and by sharing selectively, you show that you value than the person with whom you are confident. But it makes the moments of connection more meaningful because they are based on genuine trust and emotional depth rather than simply sharing for the sake of being heard. When you share only with those who truly understand and respect you, it cultivates a sense of security. People appreciate when they are entrusted with personal thoughts or feelings, and this fosters an environment of mutual respect. Are more likely to value your perspective, offer thoughtful advice, and be supportive when they know that your sharing is intentional and comes from a place of care. This selective sharing means that those who are close to you are the ones who receive the most honest, unguarded version of you, strengthening the emotional connection between you both. In relationships, overexposing yourself by sharing too much too soon can actually create distance or discomfort. It can overwhelm the other person or make them feel as if they're being asked to bear too much of your emotional load. By being selective, you allow the relationship to grow naturally at its own pace, with both parties taking the time to understand each other. This ensures that the connection remains balanced and healthy, where both sides feel comfortable and respected in their exchanges. But a selective share also promotes the growth of a deeper connection over time. As trust is built and the relationship matures, the more you share, the stronger the bond becomes. Holding back certain aspects of your life until the right moment, you create space for meaningful conversations and shared experiences. This helps avoid oversaturation or superficiality, ensuring that when you do open up, it feels significant and authentic. Over time, this process of selective sharing strengthens relationships, making them more genuine and durable. Private joy builds resilience. Private joy has a unique ability to build resilience because it is not reliant on external validation or approval. When we experience happiness quietly without needing to broadcast it to the world, it becomes something personal and deeply rooted within us. And this kind of joy strengthens us from the inside, as it is not easily swayed by others' opinions or reactions. We learn to find contentment within ourselves, making us more resilient in the face of adversity. Instead of being fragile and dependent on the approval of others, private joy remains untouched by outside forces. When we celebrate our victories and joys in private, we also create a sense of ownership and control over our emotions. This autonomy allows us to bounce back more easily from difficult situations. Since our happiness is not defined by how others perceive it, we become less vulnerable to criticism or comparison. This inner strength empowers us to face challenges with a clear sense of purpose, knowing that our joy is not something that can be taken away by the opinions or judgments of others. Moreover, private joy helps us develop a deeper understanding of ourselves. It allows us to connect with the intrinsic value of our experiences and to see them as part of our personal growth, not something that needs to be validated externally. This connection fosters emotional maturity as we become more adept at finding peace and strength from within, regardless of external circumstances. By keeping joy private, we also become more attuned to our own needs and desires, reinforcing our ability to navigate difficult times with resilience. In the end, private joy nurtures a sense of inner peace that supports our resilience in life. When we don't depend on others to share in our happiness, we become less affected by the ups and downs that come our way. This joy, built on self-awareness and personal satisfaction, gives us the strength to persevere and continue moving forward, no matter the challenges we face. It becomes a steady, unwavering source of strength that we can rely on when times get tough. Self-worth doesn't require validation. Self-worth is an intrinsic quality that does not depend on external validation. It is the belief in your own value, regardless of how others perceive or treat you. When you recognize your own worth, you no longer need constant approval from others to feel validated. True self-worth is grounded in your understanding of your own strengths, values, and uniqueness, not in the praise or acknowledgement you receive from the outside world. It's an internal sense of confidence and respect that cannot be shaken by the opinions of others. When you rely on external validation to define your self-worth, you create an unstable foundation. And approval of others can be fleeting and unpredictable. And when it's absent, it can leave you feeling lost or unworthy. By separating your self-worth from outside opinions, you protect yourself from the emotional highs and lows that come with seeking validation. Instead, you learn to trust in your own abilities and judgment, which gives you the strength to navigate life with a solid sense of self. Self-worth is also a reflection of how you treat yourself. When you respect your own feelings, boundaries, and needs, you reinforce your sense of value. Validation from others may feel good in the moment, but it's temporary and often superficial. True validation comes from within through actions that affirm your own worth. By nurturing yourself, setting boundaries, and honoring your values, you cultivate a self-image that shouldn't be unshakable, no matter what others may say or do. In the long run, not needing external validation frees you to live authentic. You no longer have to mold yourself to fit the expectations or desires of others. This sense of freedom allows you to pursue your goals, express your thoughts, and build relationships based on mutual respect rather than seeking approval. When your self-worth is not contingent on validation, you step into your power and live a life that is true to who you are. Protecting happiness creates lasting joy. Protecting happiness is essential for cultivating lasting joy because it allows us to preserve the purity and value of our positive emotions. In a world where external forces constantly challenge our peace and contentment, taking steps to safeguard our happiness ensures that it remains unshaken by negativity or distractions. Happiness is fragile and can easily be disrupted by the opinions of others, stressful situations, or toxic environments. By actively protecting it, we create a foundation that allows our joy to endure and thrive, regardless of the circumstances around us. When we protect our happiness, we are also setting boundaries to guard our emotional well-being. This involves distancing ourselves from negativity, whether it's from people, situations, or even our own self-doubt. By being mindful of what we allow into our lives, we create space for joy to flourish without interference. This doesn't mean avoiding all challenges or difficult emotions. We're rather making sure that we don't let them overshadow the positive aspects of our lives. Protecting our happiness means prioritizing our mental and emotional health so that joy can remain a constant force in our lives. Additionally, protecting happiness fosters a deeper sense of gratitude and appreciation. When we take the time to nurture our positive feelings, we develop a greater awareness of what makes us truly happy. This awareness strengthens our connection to what brings us joy and enables us to cultivate it more consistently. Instead of being at the mercy of fleeting moments of happiness, we learn how to create and sustain joy by focusing on the things that truly matter. Over time, this intentional effort leads to a lasting, resilient form of happiness that becomes ingrained in our daily lives. Ultimately, protecting happiness allows us to build a reservoir of joy that we can draw upon during difficult times. By making happiness a priority and defending it against negative influences, we create a sense of stability and peace that remains even in adversity. This lasting joy becomes a source of strength, providing us with the emotional resilience needed to face challenges with a positive mindset. When we protect our happiness, we lay the groundwork for a life filled with enduring joy that can withstand the trials and tribulations of life. In conclusion, the essence of happiness lies not in its outward display, but in its quiet, resilient core. By protecting our joy, sharing selectively, and cultivating it with humility, we create a foundation that not only enriches our lives, but also strengthens the relationships that matter most. The power of mystery, intentional sharing, and private joy lies in their ability to build deeper, more meaningful connections with ourselves and others. As we embrace the idea that self-worth doesn't require validation and that happiness thrives in the spaces we protect for ourselves, we begin to realize that true contentment is an internal process. When we value our joy, nurture our happiness in silence, and maintain respect for our personal journey, we create a life that is not only fulfilling but resilient, lasting, and deeply rooted in authentic self-empowerment. A path to true happiness is one that requires intention, boundaries, and a commitment to protect what brings us peace and joy, ensuring that we hold the power to shape our emotional world from within. Thank you for time to read and engage with this message. I hope the insights shared have inspired you to reflect on your own journey towards happiness and resilience. Remember, true joy and self-worth come from within, and protecting them is the key to a lasting, fulfilling life. Wishing you all the best on your path. Take care and goodbye for now.